Back in outback South Australia, about an hour or two before sundown. Got a nice little posse here, so it should be alright. So I'm just going to get the fire going, have a nice cup of tea, and then have a bit of a kickback. I've been driving for quite a while today, so it'd be nice just to relax for a bit. Get used to being in the bush. Great subject matter, eh? Can see for miles, can see for miles. Fantastic. All right, what do we need next? Okay. Fantastic location. Just pulled up a camp, got the billy on the boil. Time for a brew. Got a fantastic composition down below. Got some good weather. Nice sunny days. Very lightly overcast, mainly full sun. Those extra few clouds actually add a little bit of interest to the sky, so it's perfect really. Fantastic clear atmosphere, you can see for miles. Everything in the distance is blue rather than grey. Dusty mauves. And of course those beautiful orange colours that I love to complement all that. Alright, here we are, dawn, freezing cold, and I'm about to go off, and as you can see, I'm wearing a lot of gear. I'm about to go off and paint the morning picture. Oh, I'll tell you what, clear as. It's going to be fantastic. Right, let's do this. Just going for a bit of a walkabout, having a look around. There's some great stuff here. Let's see what we've got down in the dry creek. There's a really nice rocky outcrop just up ahead over here that I could see from back at camp. Probably about 1 kilometre from camp. I'm camped up a lot higher out of the creek. And I could see it up ahead, so it's actually not that far now. It's about 300 metres, so I'm going to go check it out. Alright, well I'm here. I've made it to that rocky outcrop I was telling you about, so let's have a quick look. What do we got? There you go, she's pretty impressive. The camera's dwarfing it a bit. What I'll do is we'll have a bit of a closer look. I'm 24 hours later, and I finally find a way down into the new area that I so desperately want to paint. Fantastic location, bit of a trick to get in there, but once we're there, it's all good. All good. Alright, for this last little bit of the journey, I've got to drop the car down into the creek bed and actually run down the creek bed as the road for another few hundred metres or so to get to the campsite I want. Now we've got this drop off here, bit of a problem, but I've got the Matic, so I'm just going to level it out because the trailer will not like dropping into that without taking the back off. So let's have a look. Yeah, that's going to come off alright. too hard, so that stuff and push in here. Yeah, that should be quite doable. Then we'll be good as gold. There's a real strong presence about this place. Hard to explain. Been a lot of ancient Aboriginal activity here, you can sense it. Beautiful landscape. Well, here we are. Found the track in. Yesterday when I went for that walk, found this fantastic spot. Walking back home I found a track, so I followed it. Anyway, today was the track we came in on, that river, the dry river. Had to do a little bit of chop to get in here, but that was all part of the fun. Now, great setup. Perfect spot for camping, perfect spot for painting. So, without any further ado, I reckon I'll get the cuppa going, get the billy on. All right. Well, that was a bit of fun. Got that painting done, the evening effect. Went for a walk today. There's some fantastic subjects around here. Oh, I tell you what though, that last painting took a bit of effort. I'm a little buggered. Might have a simple meal tonight, won't get too flash. Sooner or later I'm going to knock out a big painting. At the moment I'm doing medium to small size, but that's fine because a lot of people want that. There's nothing better than banging out those big ones. That is fun. So, very, very soon. Just relaxing here by the fire. Oh great, fantastic. It's a nice evening. Starting to cool off now. There will probably be a frost because there's not a cloud in the sky and it is winter here in Australia. But at the moment, beautiful. Perfectly still, perfectly clear. Just a few birds singing in the trees, putting himself to bed, singing himself to sleep. These swags are good. I've got a pretty simple swag this time. I'm just using a piece of canvas, literally a piece of canvas with a mattress and some sleeping bags in it and a pillow. You can open it up completely flat. There's no mosquito nets or anything. It's just simply a piece of canvas, and as you see you can half unroll it and use it as a chair. So it serves two purposes. Gets you right down close to the earth, close to the fire. Fantastic. Guess I'll have another early night. I've been getting up pretty early in the morning. I've been getting up for about 5 o'clock. Sun's rising around about 7 I think at the moment, so I'm 2 hours before sunrise and sit around the fire just warming myself up mentally and whatever for the painting that'll happen right on dawn. Once that's done, half the day's work is already done. And then it's time for breakfast. Quite often a lot of the rest of the day I cruise around looking, walking, checking different locations, just looking for the perfect compositions for the evening painting. So quite often in the Flinders it's morning and evening and a lot of looking in the midday. But sometimes I will also bang out a huge big painting of the midday if I feel it's got the right composition and lighting effects and whatever. Right, stoke that fire a bit. It's cleaning up to a beautiful day. It's been a freezing cold morning. Great spot. Got an idea to paint a picture in about an hour's time, maybe 2 hours time. Just behind us there, that peak sticking up back there. Getting around down the side, and it is a fantastic subject. So I'll head off down that way after breakfast. Beautiful morning. Oh, that's sort of lovely stuff. Alright, I'll keep looking around, no worries. Well, there's been a real drought in outback South Australia, and Australia in general. But up here, you've got these beautiful caves for protection for the animals. Great spot to hang out on a hot day. A few kangaroo droppings, whatever. But unfortunately, sometimes it becomes their last resting place. Run out of moisture, run out of food, just nowhere to go. Pretty sad, but I guess that's nature. Still, it's a beautiful landscape. Now, as you saw, it can be a pretty harsh environment out here, so you want to keep your wits about you. But I do have a few things up my sleeve. I have a UHF radio. I always carry that with me, so you can talk to any of the property owners in the area. And second, I have a satellite phone, and that means I can talk to anyone in the world. So, as isolated as we are, you're never quite as isolated as it appears. Good stuff to have. Really is a beautiful country here. There's been a lot of Aboriginal history here over the last 50,000 years or so. There's caves everywhere, there's good water sources. In the creek bed, there's a great natural depression in the surface of the soil there. Creek comes down so this way in flood, when she does flood. There's a big rocky outcrop here, so obviously you get a turbulence. Digs it out and makes a hole. So when there is water, there'll be plenty of water in there for quite a while. Good water source. Well, you can see where the water comes up to. There's the high tide mark on the rocks there. I'm standing inside the depression here. Now this has to be the best cave I've come across out of the whole lot. Beautiful shelter down under here. Come in and have a closer look. A huge overhang with a southerly aspect, so in the southern hemisphere you'll be in shade 24 hours a day, so it's perfect shelter from the fierce heat of the Australian summer. Okay, g'day. It's first thing in the morning and just gonna run to the core lighting, LED lighting. I'm just gonna get the everything set up for this big painting. I've got to say, it's going to be a big challenge. It's a big painting. It's a fleeting moment, a morning scene, just as the light is rising. And yeah, 3 foot by 4 foot. So you've got to get up way before and get everything set up, and that's what I've done. She's all set up, ready to go. Way ahead of time. Got the car in position, lined everything up last night before I went to bed. Now I just get it all out and paint. Should be a bit of fun. Let's see how she goes, eh? No worries. Now today, it's hard to tell with the lighting that's going on, but we're in dawn, early dawn. I've got a massive canvas out, tons of paint, and I intend to capture a fleeting moment. Now, I'm really going to have to work for this one because time is a wasted. Okay. Now, as usual, I'll be working with my big palette knives and the oil paint, like I said. Now this is canvas. Alright. Now I've just blocked in some of the essentials, darks basically, to get me started. There's a few darks out there, so I've composed a picture, in my head that is. Alright, let's go for the biggest differences. I'm going to put that foreground in, so I'll use burnt sienna and yellow ochre, yeah. Put a little bit of blue in to darken it off, a little bit of red. Might need some more of that red. What have we got? Alizarin crimson. Just put a bit more in. Tube's a bit stiff on the cold morning. There we go. A bit more of that. Okay, let's go there. Put a bit of that into the mix. Let's see what we've got. Too far off. Now this is what you call fun, working this big with such a big fleeting moment. What a challenge, what fun. Right, now that corner there is going to be interesting, so I might get that in right now because it's right near the palette, a bit hard to move in there. Just get that in now, there we go. That way I don't have to think about it later on, it's already done. Right, burnt sienna, yellow ochre, white. I can see already that there's going to be a lot of paint used. Yeah, a bit more blue and red to key it off a bit. Knocking it down because it's in the shadows. Red and blue. That just keys it off. Alright. The fun is getting it all done in time. There's a lot to cover. A lot of work to do, so I might crank it up a notch. It is freezing, but I've taken all my jackets and stuff off because I just end up getting hot, doesn't matter what the temperature is. Working like this just builds up the heat very quickly. Just wobbling a little bit there. The trusty old easel. Get a coverage. Get a coverage in. Now you can see these palette knives are good to get the coverage done. They're a great way to mix and also to get a lot of paint on all at once, so you don't have to put extra layers. Hang on. Oh, it's fallen. There we go. So you don't have to put extra layers later on, you've just put it all on at once. Blue, red, burnt sienna, yellow ochre. Hang on, I'm going to have to fix this up. Got a bit of a major malfunction. Just needs to be clamped, pure and simple. Right, there we go. Back in the game, back in the game. Just getting all those edges done. Up there. We'll just stand back from it and have a look. Right, a bit of that blue, a bit of yellow ochre, some white. Going to mix up a little bit of a saltbush colour. Head down, of course. Some white. Bit more yellow ochre in the mix. Just lightly touching here, letting some underpaint show through. Whew, she is a bit chilly. Not that clean. Just putting a few more of the darks back in here. Some of the darkest darks. Chilly, 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 chilly. Clean the knife off a bit, right. Get some white. What do I got to do? Got to anticipate the sky, okay? Now the sky is not the colour it's going to be when the sun's shining yet. So what I've got to do is work out what it is going to be. Getting some beautiful bands of colour, but that's not what it'll be later, so. Burnt sienna, bit of magenta. White, a little bit of blues, just a bit of a keyed down colour near the horizon. Let's have a look what it is. Wobbling a bit, hang on. Right, put a bit of that in. Okay, now I've done that. Yellow ochre in the mix. Some white. White and yellow ochre. colours on at the moment. Work it out in a minute. Bit of blending. Bit of draftsmanship. Right, that's warming me up a bit now. A bit of blue and white, a lot of blue and a lot of white. This is crazy stuff, crazy. It's going to give us tons of white. Let's have a look. Growling it on. You can see the knife's good for getting it on quick. Plenty of paint on where you need it, when you need it. I'm just doing a little bit of blending here, pulling those colours together. Together nicely like so. You get a mixture of the blues and the browns. You get the warm and cool intermixed. Blend, blend, blend. Oh, my arm is burning. Whew. Right, go up a layer. A little bit darker with a bit more blue in it. White, yellow ochre. There'll be plenty of yellow ochre in this sky. It's blending and it is a go. Whew. Lovely chunky paint, plenty of paint, why not? Alright, now I'm going to change tacks and go a little bit of blue, a bit of magenta, tons of white. It's amazing how much paint you go through when you're doing this. You're going to slap it on thick, I guess that's going to happen. More magenta. Right, that'll be up the top. Just concentrating for a minute, trying to get this edge lovely. Let's get that paint on. Oops. Magenta in the works there. Oh, God. Burning. Swap hands for it. Oops, what's that? Just going to swap hands for a minute. I think I'll just stay with this one. Keep it together. Stay on target. Stay on target. Oh, right, I'll have a look. Right. At the moment, that shadow in there is green, but later on it'll be more of a mauve, I reckon. I can't keep chasing the light, I've got to anticipate it now and work it out. And then work it out. Like if I go copying exactly what I'm seeing there, by the time I'm finished it'll be totally different. So I'm anticipating what's going to be there in the next half hour. When it is there, I'll fine tune it. Putting the shadow of that hill in. I'm actually using all the different sky colours, I'm finding that's working. But they're a bit darker. A bit of the burnt sienna from that foreground can get thrown in. Those undertone greens get mixed in. Lovely salt bush and stuff on the hill, so just put some of that in. Make it gold. Almost forgot that it was cold, but I've suddenly just remembered as soon as I slowed down. A bit of yellow ochre and a bit of green. Trying to mix up some of the foliage, which is a little richer in colour. Sienna, green, yellow ochre, just lightly pulling through, leaving some undertones coming through. Freezing cold. Yellow ochre and burnt sienna. Alizarin crimsons. Actually, I'm going to put a bit of magenta in that. Some of those beautiful dark rocks are on the top. Put them in the mix. Let's have a look. green, burnt sienna. Just lightly sticking in the gum trees on the edge, there's a few gums there. Now the sun's about to rise, but I've got a hill just over there, the big one that I was painting the other day, blocking the first light. So I'm not actually going to get the first light on the hill, I'll probably get the first after 10 minutes I'd say, then get the light. That's alright, that gives me enough time to keep on doing what I'm doing. Cleaning the knife and pulling through like so. Going to get some of that paint from here and pull it down into there. By going like that, I'm picking it up as well as blending, and then I can use it again. The sky cover down there. That one. I just go while I'm waiting, clean that edge off over to there, a bit more yellow ochre and white. Yellow ochre. Ooh. A little bit of that blue in. Woo, lighten it. Just going to add a little bit more of that yellow ochre through here. Really blend it up into the sky. Feel that light emulating up into the sky. Keep on blending her up, purposely leaving little marks to give the illusion of light and atmosphere jutting around in the atmosphere. So there's no brushes used, it's just this. Yellow ochre. Getting the salt bushes. Oh, what colour are we going to use? It's just a little bit of foliage and greys and stuff. Just chuffing around a little bit here. Oh, very good, very good. Just painting a bit more of those little lovely little salt bushes and stuff that are a bit bluer. Those lovely salt bushes and whatever just on the hill here while they're still in shadow. Putting a few in here and there. I'll just go to this slightly smaller knife. Keep going with those bushes. That sun will be out very, very soon. I'm just building up the shadow tones before it gets here. Taking a bit of paint off here, I'm going to change the draftsmanship slightly. I've decided. I'll wipe it clean, get rid of that. Pull that down. Cleaning up all the draftsmanship and wiping the knife clean each time as I go. Working on edges. Alright. Just gonna very lightly pull through that. That's just to soften that edge a bit. It's not the focal area, and just keep it down a little bit. Makes it look more like trees and branches anyway because it's a little bit out of focus. Some in focus, some out of focus. Bit of variety here and there. Can't believe it, I'm still waiting for the sun. Can you believe that? Waiting for the sun on a painting this crazily big? Oh dear. Whoa. Pull through a bit. I was half pulling through there to soften. Take a bit of paint off to clean up a few edges there. Bit of a, going to move all these colours out of the way for anticipating that sun that'll be here any second. But at the same time, just want to pull it slightly lighter tone. Where there is a bit of a road I'm standing on, a little bit of a track, I should say. Let's have a look. Oh, there it is, yep. I'll emphasise that a little bit. Oh, here comes the light. Quick, game on. Game on. Right. You can see, where are we? Just in the corner of the picture, you're only just getting it. It's starting to light up. What a ripper. Yellow ochre. Where's that hill in? Ooh, chilly, chilly, chilly. Right, good. It's going to go a little bit lighter, so I've got the cad yellow and white. She's chilly, she's chilly. All good fun. like I said, I've got myself in a spot where even though the sun's just risen, I'm still waiting for it to hit that hill. It will soon. It's hit the other one in the background just over there, like we were saying, like I've just done, but the other part hasn't come yet, so mix up a bit of a light orangey tone. Some cad red, cad yellow and a tiny bit of white just to lighten it. It's more yellow than that rather than orange. Comes. The hill's starting to light up a bit, but before that I can also see a little bit of the gum trees in the distance are lighting up too. So yellow ochre and green, a bit of that orange half thrown in to warm it up a bit. Just lightly pulling it over the shadow so you've got the light source on top. Alright, now the fun stuff, that hill's starting to light up, so let's get into that. Clear all that crap out of the way. Yellow, white, something I anticipated earlier. That beautiful, beautiful light. Half mixing cad yellows and white to give that real strong fleck. More the cad yellow and white. Whew, cool. You should stop for a minute, it starts to cool down very quickly. Alright, I can see some magenta and white. That crow sounds good. Just subtle bits of magenta in amongst that. He's a noisy bugger. Oh, this is when it's fun. This is really game on now. Game on. Get into it, soldier, get into it. Cold. White. What we got here? Yeah. It really is a beautiful hill, as you can see, starting to light up. Bit more cad yellow deep. Right, so pure white, pure cads. Get the sting, half mix it. Half mix. Okay, one more. Whoop. This one to soften that. Soften it a bit just to give the feeling of light and shadow. This is where it's game on, like, I just want it to be exactly right. That's not asking too much, is it? It's not the right feel, and I don't want to rework it, I want it to be done now. Okay, what do we got? Alright, well that'll do. I'll leave it at that. Pretty excited, pretty happy with it. I'll get the camera off and let you have a look before anything changes. Alright, no worries. Okay, let's come in and have a look at this, eh? Oh, she's a beautiful hill. A really light toned hill, so you get all those beautiful colours. Get to use the all the bright cad colours, the magentas, the pale blues and greens in the shadows. And the hill in the distance, which is lit up nicely. You can see the intermixture of the colours here, how I, with the palette knife, blended them right on the canvas itself. And you've got the road leading in. Let's see if I can pick it up here. It's never as good in the camera. Alright, I will explain the palette. Let's have a look at some of the colours. Titanium white, yellow ochre, burnt sienna, alizarin crimson, cobalt blue, magenta, viridian green, and just off to the side here a few little highlights, a little bit of cad yellow orangey sort of tone, I guess you could say, and cad red. So that's a cad yellow, but a deep cad yellow, so it's got a twang of orange in it. It's not a pure yellow. I always stick tons of paint on the palette, that doesn't matter. What I'll do now is put it back in, anything that hasn't been used like that, stick it back in the tin before it's got a chance to cure. No worries. Okay, yeah, well that's it for this trip. I've gotten my quota of paintings done. I'm pretty happy with what I've done. Now just remember, all these paintings are available on my online store, so have a look around, you'll see them. I'll leave a link in the description below. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the show as much as I enjoyed being out there making it, and until next time, I'll see you later.